Q4 is in the mist. We are in the trenches right now, and oh my God, it is unlike any other Q4 before. If you're interested in learning what I'm doing in my business this Q4 and specifically November, stay tuned. I'm going to share everything that I'm doing in my Amazon UK business in November right now. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been selling on Amazon now doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. Now, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and I'm another 7-figure Amazon seller in the USA. And hopefully I'm going to expand into another marketplace in the near future. And if you're interested in learning how I've done it and what I'm learning on my journey, do make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to talk about today? First things first, let's give you a little bit of a recap of my October plans. What did I say I was going to do and what happened? Number 2, let's talk about my November plans. What am I planning to do? And that's again my UK business. And then finally, let me give you some kind of personal thoughts and some advice if you are thinking about what to do in November. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, let's give you a little bit of a recap of my plans for October and what actually happened. Now look, I mentioned, if you watch my videos and follow my journey, I mentioned last month or so, I said, look, in October, I'm targeting about 230,000 in revenue for the month of October, which is down actually versus what we did the year prior. To give you an update, there is probably very little chance of us actually hitting that, since currently right now, we're on probably about half of it, 116,000 in revenue, and we've got about 6 days left to achieve that. So way off the mark. Like my business has gone from 300 down to 100, very, very different. Now you might be asking, what are the issues that have affected this revenue? What has happened? Well, basically we've had issues around pricing. Also as well, we've seen issues around the economic situation in the UK. Sales have slowed down. And also as well, spend over the months prior to this has also had an impact in the fact that you just haven't got the stock in that done it. And we've had big changes within my business, also around the lead service. Now, in addition to that, I mentioned in the past that we were working to build productivity, efficiency within the team by introducing incentives, the highest spending team and the team with the highest gross profit. The 2 incentives we're looking at, spend and gross profit. Now, with that being said, what happened is that we've seen an increase in purchases generally in the past, let's put it this way, from about 25,000, 35,000 a week, going up to about 48,000, 50,000 in the last few weeks. So that's a major improvement. Now, aside from our increase in, spending, we also observe that there is, less duplication of sources, sourcing at the same stores, because we've really broken our team down into category. Now, with this strategy, we have seen changes and improvements from it. By doing this, we know what works and what obviously doesn't work, and also this helped bring the team results. Now, finally, I also said we were going to, reach out to our repricing software, considering we've had some issues whereby, it's not been repricing within the rules that we have implemented on our SKUs. And to give you an update on that situation, we've reached out to our repricing software, and they've helped us identify problems with our repricer and made improvements and strategies to protect our prices moving forward to prevent losses. I won't lie, we've had a big changes. Things have happened, but hey, this is life. And if you ever follow my Amazon journey, not everything goes perfectly, and I want to share that with you. So don't worry if your sales are down as well. But what I would like to ask is, how are your October sales? Let me know in the comments down below. Were they up or were they down? Right, October sales up, down, Tom. Maybe you want to give a bit of narrative. I'm really interested to learn, see how you're getting on. Maybe you were affected by the UK economic crisis as well. Obviously, many prime ministers in a short amount of time. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, this leads me nicely on to my second chapter, my Amazon UK plans going into November 2022. So what are we actually planning? Let's give you a rundown now. Number 1, first things first. So the month of November, we're going to set up targets for revenue, purchase, and gross profit. These are really important metrics that we're tracking all the time, and we do it within the framework within Seller Academy. Now, to give you some figures we're aiming for, and again, it's all about the numbers. You've got to hit targets. That's it. So we're aiming to hit 308,000 in revenue, and that's with 28,000 gross profit. So that'll be good, and we'll have costs, and then obviously after that, we'll do net profits. Now, this is all based on our projection, but looking at it is indeed challenging considering the current economic condition. My God, how many prime ministers do we have in the UK in such a short amount of time? It's just a joke. But hopefully things are going to stabilize and people are going to have more money in their pockets to buy. Now, you might also be asking, what are we planning to do to achieve these numbers? This leads me to the second plan, which is really going to be working on a repricer. Like I said earlier, we're having issues with our repricing software, and we've spoken to the repricing software, talked about them, and planning on making changes with our rules and conducting some tests again on some ASINs. And we're looking at that kind of like analysis. We're trying to see like, hey, why are we getting this when it should be this, or what's going on? We're looking at market conditions. That's something really important. And I think as business owners, that's where we should be spending a lot of our time, in the detail around repricing software. Now, the third and the final plan is to use what's known as our quarter tracker within our Seller Academy framework. If you are looking at, ensuring accountability among your team, which is what we really want to do and which we're doing as well, that quarter tracker within our Seller Academy framework, which is really the framework that I've built both seven-figure Amazon businesses on, provides the accountability, across my entire, actually 3 businesses, because we do it across them, and it gives everyone a direction, it gives everyone a goal to achieve, i.e. this is what we're after from you. And it allows my team members to, at an individual level, to know what they need to focus on, which is absolutely game changing. Why? Because if everyone works on their individual goals, it all adds up to the company goals, and that also achieves where we need to be as a business. Now, not only that, but also it's going to help me assist in monitoring, the performance of my team and the progress and what's going on, and whether they're on target or off target, and also we can jump in and support them, but also challenge them to say, hey, this is what needs to happen. Okay, so I just talked about the quarter tracker, and now this is something that we use within my business, and it's absolutely amazing. And if you want to know, this is actually how I built both my UK and my USA businesses. We literally had trackers, we had supporting, systems in place, which made it really simple that my team can report what's going on within a couple of minutes every week. I can see exactly clear as day how they're all performing. And then finally, I can jump in and support. What I'm not doing is, doing lots of reporting. I'm literally focusing on some very core metrics, which are helping me drive my business forward. Now, Tony Robbins talks about it. He says, without good optics, you can't make good decisions. And I strongly believe that. Me and my business right now, this quarter dashboard, this framework that I've built to build my businesses allows me to have great optics. Now, the one thing that I will say is if you are interested in learning more, this framework and everything that I've done, documented SOPs, processes, are only available within the Seller Academy. And that's, my system, my course, my academy that I've put together to really support Amazon sellers who want to take this seriously. Now, we are only taking on a small number of people at set times throughout the year, but if you're interested, have a look at the link down below and see more about the Seller Academy, see whether it's going to be something that's interesting for you when we reopen next. Check it out, link down below. Right, this leads me nicely onto my third and my final chapter for you, personal advice. Now look, after finishing the first month of Q4, or pretty much coming to the end, we're still experiencing challenges. My God, look at my revenue. Now, you might be asking, how do I handle situations like this? And what I'm gonna say is, if you ever look at my journey, if you ever look at what's going on, I've had Amazon suspending my payments account, I've had lots of problems, VAs quit, I've had purchasing managers quit. I think we have 8 purchases now, don't quote me, but we have so many. And we've also been able to build it up. And the one thing which I will say is all businesses have up and downs. And we have, and I will not lie, over the last few months struggled with some of the purchasing. We've made some big changes within our company, merging the 2 teams. We've hired a lot of new staff. Unfortunately, we had to let some staff go as well. We've had some challenging conversations with that. But this is the business. And the one thing which I'll say is, just like anything in life, it's never a straight journey. It has ups and downs. And the one thing I really appreciate is the fact that I have great optics on my business. I can see where we're struggling and I can see where I need to jump in. But also as well, I can see where we're really performing and I can highlight that and I can celebrate that as well. The biggest question which I always had, should we say, over the previous, the years in the past was that I just don't know where my business is at. If I just knew where my business is at, if I had certainty, literally I could just look at my dashboard and go, yeah, this is where we're at. I know how we're doing and I know how well we're getting on, then I would have confidence and I'd feel relaxed. But a lot of the time I never had that. And that was a real pain for me. It was a real problem. And I just wanted to know exactly where I was. And it's been really game changing. It really has, building out this whole 1 million journey, doing 3.5 in the UK, doing it again in the USA, and building out the whole framework that's supported and really refining it, getting it right. And it's really nice now doing it with other people within the Seller Academy. One thing I would probably say for you, getting clear optics on your business. There is no one metric within your business that you should be focusing on. And if I give you an analogy that you can understand, relate to, when you're driving down the road, you don't just look at the speedo. You look at the fuel gauge, maybe look at the rev gauge, maybe notice that, there's a warning light on, or the engine's getting a bit hot. And what you're doing is you're keeping them in balance. So you try and balance some of them whilst maximizing the other one. So for us, we try and make sure that we balance all the other metrics whilst maximizing spend and ultimately delivering gross profit. Now for you, this is what we do in our Amazon business, and that's about having great optics. If you don't have a dashboard in your car, you're probably not going to drive it, or do drive it, definitely going to feel unsafe and uncertain about what's going to happen. And you're worrying, am I going to run out of fuel at any minute now, or is this engine going to blow up? Because I can't see what's going on within my business. If you are serious about your Amazon business or any business, you need great optics. And there's a reason why Tony Robbins talks about it, a reason why great people talk about having great optics, is because at the end of the day, while we delegate, while we hire staff, if they don't do the right job, who's at fault? us as business owners. And how do we stop that? Great optics. That's the key, should we say, to running a successful business, is great optics. Now, what I will say is after going through my plans for November, you might want to learn about, should we say, growing your business with virtual assistants, and building that team is so important. So what I want to do is I'll drop a video around here about how virtual assistants can help you grow your business, should we say, within that Amazon business. Do check that out. That's going to really help you. But what I will say is hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. Obviously, I'll notify you when I release more videos. But for myself, Thomas Parkinson, and Fast Track FBA, thank you very much.